Now, for more on mobile advertising and how lucrative it can be, we are joined by Donnie Flood in San Francisco. He is the co-founder and chief technical officer for Bizo, which bills itself as being the world's largest business marketing platform. Donnie, thanks for joining us. Now, we see that Facebook has been gaining a much larger portion of its overall ad revenue from mobile ads. But why is this good news for Facebook when advertisers pay less for mobile ads than desktop ads?
Well, I think Facebook has finally made the transition from being a primarily desktop platform to a desktop and mobile platform. I think in the short term, the cost that they can drive from mobile advertising has been hurt a little bit. But as demand goes up from advertisers, I expect the value for Facebook to extract from those advertisers to go up as well. So I think in the long term, it's going to be good.
The cost will likely go up for those mobile ads as it becomes more popular.
Correct.
Now, I wonder whether you consider mobile users a captive audience. I mean, aren't most people just ignoring the ads that pop up on their Facebook feeds right now?
No, I disagree with that. I think, obviously, from a screen size standpoint, they're a very captive audience. But, what Facebook has done that's really smart is they've created, a native advertising platform. So ads that sort of fit within the natural flow of a user's experience on Facebook. And I think, the users are very captivated by that. And, I think you're going to see other social networks like Twitter have a very successful outcome with these, these ads that are embedded as part of the natural flow of the product.
That's right, because they have so much information on what we like and what our interests are, so they really target the ads to what we do like. Now, every company wants to know what the return on their investment is with advertising. How are they able to get that with Facebook, and how does it compare to other media ads in terms of return on investment?
Well, I think the story for judging your return on investment on mobile is very similar to the desktop story. We can calculate all the same metrics that we can calculate from the desktop side. And I think what's exciting to see is companies like Bizo and other companies who are buying on Facebook and Twitter are seeing a huge return on investment already. So it's exciting to see that, and I expect that to continue.
All right, now, but of course, the big players, though, when it comes to mobile ad share are Google and Facebook. Google's market share seems to be stagnating a bit right now. But Facebook's is growing. What does that tell us about demand for mobile advertising, specifically on social media sites?
Well, I think social media sites have kind of figured it out. Going back to they have all this data on users. They have advertising as part of the natural flow of your experience on Facebook. So I think social media outlets and social networks are poised to take more market share and continue to grow faster than some of the other players in the space because of that.
Well, as we can see, Twitter has very little market share in the space, 1.8% for 2013. Now, is that seen as a negative, or can it be seen as a positive for potential investors in Twitter in the sense that they still have a lot more to grow?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely a positive, huge amount of growth opportunity there. And I think what Twitter's done is focused on, a couple of things that are smart. One is they're really working with trying to figure out products that make marketers successful on their platform. And two, they're trying to make those products, scalable so they can get a lot of marketers success. And I think they've figured that out. And again, I think they're poised to take advantage of that and grow that market share.
Okay, and lastly, Twitter has 200 million active monthly users, which is a fraction of Facebook's 1 billion plus active users. What can Twitter offer to advertisers that some of its competitors can't?
Well, I think there's a few things. In particular, I think the kind of personas that are on Twitter are much more different than what's on the other social networks. On Facebook, you see a lot of consumer. I think Twitter is sort of a combination of consumer persona and business persona, and so I think that's a pretty interesting mix. I also think, obviously Twitter is really the real-time platform. Everybody's tweeting things, live events, news is breaking on Twitter, and so that's a very different, sort of approach and value prop for marketers than what you can get on Facebook or LinkedIn or other networks.
And so, all right, well, very interesting stuff. Thank you so much, Donnie Flood. He's the co-founder and chief technical officer for Bizo. He joined us tonight.